you use the microphone, please?
Oh,
Thank you.
wow, this is official. Welcome.
It's on.
You're such a good-looking group. I hope that worked better the second time around, okay? We want to welcome you to this information session for Sigma Theta Tau International and for our STTI chapter. And so what we're going to do, please feel free to come up and get more food because, we might as well, the more you eat, the less I have to, take somewhere else. So what we're going to do is we want to make this informational, hopefully not boring. Feel free to ask us questions. What we're going to be doing is giving you just the teeniest of history of the organization. Then we're going to tell you about the criteria for membership. And then we're going to go and tell you, am I supposed to just hold it? Okay, just hold it. And then we're going to tell you a little bit about the activities that happen in our local chapter here and how you, just joining this chapter, other chapters, etc. And then we're going to end up talking, if we have time, we definitely want questions, more questions, hopefully lots of answers, okay? And then we'll finish up by telling some of the experiences that we've had in Sigma Theta Tau. So thanks all for being here, and I think we'll get started. So I want to introduce, though, before we do, for those of us who will be watching on the video, my name is Vicki Hertig, and I am a faculty member here in the School of Nursing. And that's why I was making comments about these faces. It's a lovely, lovely group of faces. But what I have served at in this organization, I was president about 4 years ago. I've been president in the University of Iowa chapter, and now I'm counselor, as is Andrea Landis here, is a counselor, and we are in charge of looking at membership criteria, getting you guys who's eligible to join this year, getting that word out, and we'll talk more about that. And Stephen is just our go-to guy. He's helping us out. What's your initial title, Stephen?
PhD student, governance committee on the board.
Governance committee. Okay, great. And Stephen, he's just a great guy. You saw his little mug there. Stephen is also getting, and he'll tell you about it, but he's also starting a group of students, trying to get them more active in Sigma Theta Tau, even before you graduate or right after you graduate. So we'll be talking more about that. So I'm going to turn it over to Andrea right now to kind of give us a little history and a little bit about membership criteria. You want this somewhere?
You just put it in a pocket.
So I just brought up all that work. I just wanted to show you the website for Sigma Theta Tau. It's actually, this website has improved greatly over the years. So things are easier, not harder, easier to find. And I just wanted to show or talk a little bit about what you would find if you clicked under About Us or under their mission. So Sigma Theta Tau was started in 1922 in Indiana University when 6 nurses put it together. They formed a little coalition, named it with three Greek words, Sigma Theta Tau, or the other, off the top of my head, I can't remember the other 3 Greek words, but they meant love, courage, and honor. And their mission from 1922 was to support the learning, knowledge, and professional development of nurses committed to making a difference worldwide. So, according to their statistics, there's 125,000 active members. They reside in more than 90 countries. So you have to remember that this is an international honor society. 39% of them are masters or doctoral prepared, and I didn't write down undergrads, so I'm sorry. And then 485 chapters worldwide, and they also talk about on the website, there's many things that they're connected with. One of them being, if you are a member, you will receive the Journal of Nursing Scholarship, which is a leading research magazine that includes research from nurses, but it, is useful in not in just the clinical world, but also the research world. And then also they do have a website that and a quarterly newsletter that they publish, and they also provide scholarships. There's a large scholarship that is given by the national headquarters. Actually, Ira downstairs. I can't remember his name. He's the clinical lead for the nurse midwifery program downstairs. He actually won it this year, and he also won our local chapter research grant. So we give out 1 to 2 grants, $1,500 up to $3,000 for research grants locally, which is available to anyone, a member in this area, and then also there's opportunities nationally as well. So I just wanted to introduce the website. I also wanted to just kind of give you a little background. And they're also famous, I can't forget, there's a Virginia Lee Henderson Library that is famous. So if that's a Trivial Pursuit question or a little trivia knowledge. The Virginia Lee Henderson,
That'll come up.
I've never been there, I've seen pictures of it. It's supposed to be world renowned and just holds many nursing, any nursing book or any nursing research journal you've ever thought of from dating way back into the 20s is available there, which is a good place for, or is the only place for nursing, like a central location for nursing research. And I wanted to also, so Vicki and I are in the induction ceremony committee, and Steve is helping out as well, and we are tasked right now, so right now as we speak, down in academic services, they are compiling a list. We are meeting those who meet the criteria that are given here on this little purple sheet. Does everyone have one? If not, I have a few extra here. So for undergraduate students, to be eligible to be invited to Sigma Theta Tau International for our induction ceremony, which will happen in June. We'll talk about that. Vicki will talk about that in a few minutes. You need to have completed the first half of your nursing curriculum, achieve an academic excellence of 3.0 or higher, rank in the upper 35th percentile of the graduating class, and meet the expectation of academic integrity. So I will be working with Stephanie Schuler downstairs, going through this huge Excel spreadsheet and compiling this list. And then also for graduate students, I know some of the graduate students are in farm right now.
Yeah.
So some of them
All of them.
and but we are going to try to capture some. And Steve, where are the PhD students? Are any of them here?
Well, you actually have a couple
Okay.
of master's students, and you have a PhD student over here.
Lovely.
So,
So we're going to try to capture more of their attention, but they must complete 1/4 of their nursing curriculum, achieve academic excellence of 3.5 or higher, sorry. sorry, 3.5 or higher, and meet the expectations of academic integrity. When we and then I included the two websites. Diana Taby, who I know some of you know, she is our guru of this website, the local chapter website. That is her baby. So she has put that together. She updates it quarterly. We'll probably be loading this video to that website for those who are missing this introduction or informational session. I just wanted to make one last note before I pass this over to Vicki about academic integrity. We get some questions about that. It is just, I need to, I guess I will be the one doing it. It's just checking with academic services just to make sure there's no issues in the file of the students or anything that the academic services is concerned about, and that we will just take into consideration before inviting you to the Sigma Theta Tau.
Why don't you ask for questions about criteria?
Yeah, before we move on. Perfect.
Because there's probably a lot of questions about
And just so you know, I'm an assistant professor down in FCN, so my office is down in 416. I teach a lot with the pediatric. I am a family nurse practitioner. I teach in the pediatric nurse practitioner curriculum. So if you know, and I do research on sleep and obesity in adolescents and looking at endocrine markers. So that's who I am. But does anyone have questions about the criteria? I know we get a lot of emails over the course of the year. Yes, go ahead.
Just to be clear, so if you go through the huge Excel thing and you find that people are eligible, then you guys will contact the student and propose an invitation. Is that correct?
Thank you. What happens is...
Repeat the question.
Repeat the question. So what happens after we come up with the huge Excel spreadsheet? Do I invite the person? Actually, we upload your name and contact information to Sigma Theta Tau International. They then, it's through the, when you click on membership, and then it goes to another tab that we can log into, that I can log into as being a board member. It creates this master list, and then they can keep track of who they've sent invitations to, how many people are replying back or joining as a member and wanting to be inducted in June. So you need to be inducted into the, we'll talk about induction, but it's important to be inducted into the Nursing Society. That's where you get these beautiful cords that you can wear on graduation. They signify and are well known to signify an honor society. It is an honor and a privilege to be inducted into the, I say honor especially, to be inducted into the honor society. I hope I answered your question. So they're going actually to, I'll have that list, but it's gonna be sent up to the national office, and then they will send out actually a nice letter to everyone, and they will contact you about joining the membership. But I'll also be tabs on the other end of that, watching, just to see, and then if you have any questions, then I know who's been invited and what the, if I can help with the question. But everyone has to be uploaded. Okay. Yes, oh boy.
Are ABSN and BSN cohorts combined together?
Yes.
That's a great question. I mean, in terms of the 35%? I think you're looked at separately.
Oh,
They have to be. We'll check.
we'll check. I'll double check. Oh, same question. Okay.
And it's not just the 3.5 or higher, you have to be in the top 35%.
For the, so 3.5 or higher for for graduate.
But
For undergraduate is 3 or higher, and then upper 35th percentile.
But that, yeah, so they don't go below the 35%, and the cutoff for grade point is 3.0. So if, like, it's usually higher at 35%
Yeah.
for BSN students. So
Yeah.
don't think if you have a 3.0 that you would necessarily make that 35%. I just
That's
don't.
why I said 3.0.
Well, and yeah, you guys are such amazing students, truly, that, everyone, you guys are such amazing students overall, that we get our top 35%, and we are never down to 3.0. I think we end up being, it depends on the year, but we're probably around 3.5, I would say, ish. And again, it depends. So, that's not always the case, different schools, but that's how it works for this particular school.
Is there the same rules for every nursing school?
Every
across
nursing school,
the United States?
yes.
Or international as well?
Is there a way to know where you stand in your class?
Yeah, you want
Again, repeat the question.
Oh, thank you, Steve.
Uh-huh.
For repeating the question. Is there any way to know where you stand in your class? And you really don't, all right? That's what we're having academic services do right now, is to kind of calculate that. While I know you're really excited, I'm excited that you're excited about this, but we don't want you going down there because they have no way of being able to run that and tell you. So I guess what you're going to have to do is we will keep in touch with you as to when the letters will come out of international, so you'll know when to expect it or not expect it. Next 2 weeks, because is that the best way we can do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just send it out to, BSN 1, BSN 2, grad, everybody, ABSN. We'll send it out to everybody when we expect those letters to be sent.
And be aware that the letters will be going to second year BSNs, not the first year, because you guys haven't finished half of your program yet.
So,
Okay, that was.
Don't-
Will they go to my local address, email, permanent address?
So, yeah, this is the issue we had, so will it go to my local address, my email address? Sigma Theta Tau, if I remember correctly, last year, it got kind of confusing, because, but they do send a letter to the address that Academic Services has on file. The email address that Academic Services has on file is what we also use, because we send a reminder email out to all of you as well, saying, hi, hey, we invited you to be inducted, are you, what, are you interested, kind of thing. So we will use the email that is probably UW, hopefully UW. Now, when you sign up for, it gets tricky, because when you sign up and join Sigma Theta Tau, just like any other membership, you put in your contact information. So sometimes last year, the address that Academic Services had was not lining up with the address that individuals put in the computer for Sigma Theta Tau, or the email was a Gmail account, but we only contact you for UW. I would say, it does get tricky, but for the purposes of induction, I would try to stick with your UW email. You can always change your contact information at a later date with Sigma Theta Tau, but try to stick with UW, because that's how we are supposed to be contacting you. We're not really allowed to be emailing Gmail accounts or Hotmail accounts. We stick with the uw.edu or university.washington.edu accounts.